Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is mining companies and environmental pollution in Africa. And we're fortunate to have with us to talk about mining companies and environmental pollution in Africa, our resident expert on the continent of Africa, the Middle East, South America, and of course, Dr. Madu, I think I could go on and on in terms of what you do for us here at this, doing this show. And today, I think the topic that we're going to deal with is a topic that is quite current in a real sense in what is going on in Africa. And the topic, I think, the title, I think, might be somewhat deceptive when we say mining companies and environmental pollution in Africa, when we recognize that we're talking about the lives of towns and large areas and a lot of people. And so let us start off, Dr. Madu, by having you make some statements in reference to mining companies and pollution in Africa, and then we'll get into the topic itself.
Yeah, well, you know, this has been going on for a long time, you know, on the continent. Pollution, environmental degradation is not news, you know, to most people, but at the same time, it's not something that has been talked enough, or nothing has, you know, actually been done to control it, because most of the time, economically, you know, Africa is seen as a backwater, not meriting any attention, unless there's some, you know, violent
genocide or something, or
starvation or any of those things, then you hear about that. But a lot of things are happening insofar as, you know, the environment and degradation of the continent. You know very well there are so many, you know, mineral resources in that continent. In Democratic Republic of the Congo, you know, you have the copper mines there, which was one of the reasons why Lumumba was killed anyway in the 60s, you know. You have the cobalt mines there. In Zambia, you have, you know, the lead mines and copper mines. In Nigeria, you have the, you know, oil fields. In Congo, Brazzaville, you have a lot of oils. In Gabon, a lot of oil. In Equatorial Guinea, a lot of oil. In Angola, a lot of oil. And Ghana has oil now and gold. South Africa, you have gold. You know, and on and on and on.
Just filthy resources in a real sense.
Exactly, filthy, you know, rich in terms of resources in the ground that's not even been exploited. The problem is when these minerals, you know, both mineral fuels, you know, which is petroleum, and solid minerals, you talk of copper, you know, lead, cobalt, and the rest, is that most of these minerals have, you know, chain negative reactions in the continent, even though, you know, they produce a lot of income, you know, for the citizens of the various countries. But what you find is that most of them are unregulated. And even when they are regulated, you know, still it falls far short of what you have in the Western democracies. Let's take, for example, Nigeria. Let's start from Nigeria. Since 1958, when oil was first, you know, struck in a place called Oloibiri, in the present Bayelsa state of Nigeria, where the current president Jonathan comes from, over 1.5 million tons, 1.5 million tons of oil has spilled in that Niger Delta. 50 times more than the Exxon Valdez. Now you know, multiply it, you know what I'm talking about. Over 1.5 million tons of oil has spilled. Yes, in the Niger Delta alone of Nigeria. In fact, it's one of the 5 most polluted places in the world. 20 million people have their livelihood destroyed because of what is happening in that place. Over 20 million people. Fish, wildlife, you know, forestry, all completely destroyed. In fact, in the Niger Delta of Nigeria today, people could hardly have drinking water because of the spills. You know, they cannot fish. A majority of them are fishermen. Okay, they cannot fish. You know. They don't have, places to build houses because oil everywhere.
Dr. LMadu,
This is the background.
Yeah, we're going to just stop for a minute for this first commercial break, but that's essentially what we want to hear in reference to what is going on dealing with the environment. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.